Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Nick Griffin Fandroid, and today I'm doing a smartphone camera comparison with the OnePlus 7 Pro being used right now to record and comparing that with the Sony Xperia 5. Now, these two devices both have 3 cameras on the back and a single front-facing camera, but as you're going to see, the results from these two devices are dramatically different, and you'll probably be surprised to see which device comes out on top. As I do in all of these camera comparisons, everything you see in this video is recorded with these two smartphones. So make sure you keep an eye on the bottom of the screen to see which device is being used. So with that, let's jump into the specifications of the cameras on both of these devices. We're going to start things off with a camera module on the Sony Xperia 5. What you're looking at is 3 12-megapixel cameras with a standard 2x telephoto, and both of these feature optical image stabilization, and then a 16mm ultra-wide angle lens. And all 3 of these cameras can record 4K video at up to 30 frames per second. And then when we flip things around to the front-facing camera, you're looking at an 8-megapixel sensor that can record 1080p video at 30 frames per second. On the OnePlus 7 Pro, things are a little bit more complicated on the back with the main camera. You're looking at the main sensor with a 48 megapixel. On the OnePlus 7 Pro, things are a little bit more complicated on the back of the phone. You're looking at a main 48 megapixel sensor with optical image stabilization, and then an 8 megapixel sensor with 3x telephoto, and then finally a 13mm ultra wide angle lens. And these cameras are able to record 4K video at up to 60 frames per second. And then when we flip things around, you actually don't see the front-facing camera until you push the button here and it pops up from the front. And this one here is a 16 megapixel camera that can record 1080p video at 30 frames per second. Now that we've gotten the specifications of these two smartphones' cameras all squared away, let's jump into some side-by-side photo and video comparisons between these two devices to see how they handle a variety of different situations in daily use. Let's take a look.
A cool basketball trick. It's like this. It's like that, but I still need to keep doing it to pack.
Got a long ways to go. When it comes to low light capture from the front-facing cameras on both of these devices, neither of them are particularly good, but as you can see on the Sony, it really has a hard time capturing my face in this situation, while the OnePlus 7 Pro does a much better job. Moving things over to an area with a little bit more light, the Sony does recuperate just a little bit in these situations, but it's still not as good as what it should be. Do it for this camera comparison between the OnePlus 7 Pro and the Sony Xperia 5. Now both of these devices do have a lot of flexibility when it comes to capturing images thanks to the 3 sensors that they each have on the back with a standard, telephoto, and then zoom lenses. But unfortunately, image processing and video processing aren't all created equal. And as we saw in these results, the Sony Xperia 5 really can't compete with the OnePlus 7 Pro, which is really surprising since Sony actually makes the sensors that are inside its own phones. Let me know what you think of the final results in the comments below and which device you would rather have on a daily basis to snap photos and videos as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe as well for more camera comparisons and reviews here on the Fandroid channel. Thanks again, and we'll catch you in the next one.